YouTube, what it do? It's Cinder here, and we're going to be going over the stats for the Spellbow and Oathbow real quick, along with my general thoughts on the builds and if I think they're viable at all. 55 Vig, 23 Mind, 10 Endurance, 16 Strength, 20 Dexterity, 10 Int for the Oathbow, and 60 Int for the Spellbow, with 60 Faith for the Oathbow and 10 Faith for the Spellbow, respectively, and 10 Arcane. Don't know if Arcane affects arrows. If you guys know, let me know in the comments down below. And yeah, those are the stats, and I'm going to give you guys a quick overview of my thoughts on the build so we let some more gameplay play in the background. I'll throw on some music, of course. Just softer this time. Well, starting out with the Spellbow, you'll notice that the big thing for the Spellbow is definitely going to be carrying Phalanx and Founding Stars of Ruin. They give you a lot of space and allow you to set up your combos just as well as you like. Big spells here are going to be Collapsing Stars as well. It draws them in, and if you have the carrying Slice already, you can maybe combo with it. Another big thing that's going to be important is definitely going to be status effect arrows. Normal arrows are fine and dandy, but if you can land some status effects on them, like I do poison on this guy, it's a really big boon through the duel. Especially since, as you'll see, poison is going to be what lands this guy to his death in just a few seconds. Boop. Plus the poison animation just looks cool. Moving on to the next fight, we're going to be dealing with the Oathbow battle. And a big thing that's different from Oathbow to Spellbow is that Oathbow feels like it has better pressure when they get in close to you, so you don't feel as frightened. And it has a good chance keeping them away thanks to spells such as Black Flame Ritual, and if they dare to try and get close to you, you have a Wrath of Gold whenever you need it. However, a big other issue with that Oathbow is that at longer ranges, you're going to have a bit more of a difficult time. Spellbow has all the great sorceries to help with that, such as Stars of Ruin, Comet, Collapsing Stars, Ancient Death Rancor, the list goes on. So, Oathbow is definitely going to struggle at longer ranges against this sort of enemy who's also a mage, but it can still get the job done. Dodging and punishing with arrows is always an option. But I do think Spellbow excels there against other mages. I think Spellbow is going to be better, especially because Eternal Darkness is a spell that exists for a spell as a sorcery. Now, another key thing Oathbow has is going to be, as I said, Black Flame Ritual, but as well, it has aspect of the Crucible Breath. Now, this is just a good spell in my opinion in general. It's essentially Fire Surge from Dark Souls 3, but 3 times better for a higher, for a longer cast time. That's the word I'm looking for. Now, Fire Surge is in this game, but it doesn't it's not as fast as Dark Souls 3 anyway, so I think this is fine. And as you can see, it does way more damage. He blocked that and still took 222. And it can stagger, and just like that, he's done for. Now, moving back to Spellbow, a big boon with both of these builds that you're gonna like is gonna be the sleep arrows. That's what it is. Sorry, I have brain farts sometimes. But no, sleep arrows are a big thing with both of these builds because they allow you to combo into your spells. I know I have one of those in here with the Oathbow in a later duel. I'm not sure on the Spellbow. You also notice I use bleed arrows in basically every clip except for maybe one, and that's because bleed just gives them that sort of I don't want to deal with this feeling. Like they want to avoid bleed, of course, so it's really nice to have. Moving on, I'm using some more Ice Storm here. I don't think it's actually that good, but I do think Glint Blade is, because it gives you some space. And as you can see, it's a bit difficult to deal with because of the varying timings. Collapsing Stars, though, still the MVP of Spellbow. Now, that said, I'm gonna end this off by just talking about how I feel about the builds overall. And I think they're good. I think they're fun. No, that's more important. I think they're fun. Oh, by the way, this guy, J-Slaw, best flail user I ever fought for sure. I was not ready for this combo at all. I was panic rolling and he smoked me for it. That was extremely close, but we make it work from here. Now, as I was saying, see, look at these sleep arrows. I make a mistake here with the Oathbow, but I'm pretty sure in a later clip I do it way better on capitalizing upon that. I don't think they're competitively viable by any stretch of the word, though. The current Elden Ring meta, at least for PvP, you see a lot of different things, and even though Faith got buffed, I know a lot of people are enjoying it. I am too. As you can see, Wrath of Gold is mad funny. He tried it, and then I punish him for that with some explosive bolts. But no, as I was about to say, I don't think they're competitively viable for the sole fact that passivity has always been really good in Souls games. But even in Elden Ring, where aggression seems to be more powerful thanks to the use of power stance, spears being strong, great shields being strong, etc. I think a big issue is that a bow, even though it's passive, doesn't have the same sort of ability to mix up and catch people off guard. It's why I went with adding spells to these builds in the first place. Ooh, and there's the bleed.
Actually, you know what?
I swapped the sleep arrows here for some reason, even though I've already blooded. He's just gonna die if he die. Yeah, and I go back to bleed because
I have hella good rolls. Like,
I add spells to these builds specifically because I believe they're too low pressure.
I think it's great. Actually, you know what?
A lot of people will simply sit there and look at me, and I had a few enemies do that, but you know. Taking out some spells adds some variety to my ability to take out enemies, and of course that's always good in a game like Souls where you're trying to force mistakes. That's basically how you win in Soulsborne games. You have to force mistakes because theoretically you can roll everything. Well, not everything. In fact, let me correct myself. You aren't forcing mistakes. Sure, forcing pressure.
Acceptable.
You're causing pressure and working off of it. Now, I don't know what happened with this guy though. He was trying to R1 spam me. And as you can see, that does not work when Barrage can proc bleed easily. And also, he had no poise, so he kept getting staggered. Another big thing about this build, I have no poise on either of these because the goal was to be avoiding attacks. You know, I'm an archer. I shouldn't be close up and taking any attacks in the first place. However, I will say if I had more poise, I may have had a better time. It's very possible. Originally, I thought about doing these builds with a bit more poise, but because of the 10 endurance you saw earlier, I couldn't. Could I have lowered my mind and gotten more endurance and maybe added poise? For sure. But that's not where I want to take these builds. I want to have more FP to cast more spells. And as you can see, even though I make the attempt, it's still a bit hard to land something like that. However, good old Black Flame Ritual keeps people at bay. They don't want to run into that because that's going to deal a humongous amount of damage to them. And exploding bolts are great. That's all I have to say about those. They're a Dark Souls 3 staple, they're still in Elden Ring, and I'm still going to use them. Anyway, that's about it for this video, boys. I just want to let you guys know, I don't think these builds are viable, per se, at least not in a tournament setting, but I do think they're fun, and I guess just in these sort of duels here, yeah, you can viably play them. You saw I get survivable ones with them. It took some time, though, I won't lie to you. But that's me signing off. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed.